the Bills. Like the Bills, this is an inflection point for Josh Allen's career. Like, because if the Bills lose to the Jets this week, I mean, talk about all-time vibes atrocious. If the Bills lose to the Jets this week, you could play around the New York Times playoff machine, which is incredible. The Bills will have a 7% chance of making the playoffs if they lose to the Jets this week, which is, you pull up your hand. People can't see you, DK, but like he just held up a hand. But like, that's insane too.
You, Heifetz. Yeah.
What was the joke?
You talk about my memory being bad, Craig. At least you can remember this. Maybe I remember I did this 7. It was from Ace Ventura. He holds up 5 fingers.
Yeah.
I feel like I do an inside joke to Heifetz every podcast, and it goes over his head every single time. But that's okay. Continue.
Yeah, no,
I'm the old man with the terrible memory, though.
No, my memory's not as it's not as good as it should be. It's
that's fair.
I admit, but. What I can't get out of my head is the freaking Bills loss. It's like they lose to the Broncos by 2 points in a game that they had 4 turnovers. They fire their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, on a game they lost because of their special teams. Sean McDermott, the head coach, has now fired both coordinators in 12 months, basically scapegoating them. Stephon Diggs' brother, Trevon, the Cowboys cornerback, is just tweeting that Stephon Diggs should leave Buffalo and Josh Allen was never good before he got there. And now the Bills play the Jets, who rocked them in week 1, even in the same game Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, and every Jets fan had existential crisis. Josh Allen threw 3 picks to the same Jets safety and they lost. And they always struggles with the Jets. So it's like, I don't know, Craig, do you feel like this is actually a true pivot point moment in Josh Allen's career?
I do, because it feels like they have crossed off every other possible excuse. There's kind of nothing left except for maybe Josh Allen just isn't the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they lose 2 straight to the Jets to fall below 500 after losing the last 2 games that they lost, I don't know what else there is to say. I'm not saying I agree with that. I think the public discourse will give up on Josh Allen if they lose this game. I still personally feel like this is all a bit of an overreaction and that everybody needs to chill and teams ebb and flow. And Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to have years where they go 13-4 and they're going to have years where they go 10-7. And it's okay. And like, nobody should blow everything up. It's why I think the whole Stephon Diggs thing is ridiculous.
It's
Stephon
crazy.
Diggs, every year on the Bills is one of the top 5 receivers in the league. He's one of the most targeted receivers in the league. What is he? He's like the 7th best wide receiver in fantasy right now. Like, he is one of the most talented receivers in a fantastic situation with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and they are always in Super Bowl contention, and he's pissed.
Dude, you ever
what is he mad at?
There's the like Craig on an airplane wishing there was Wi-Fi. You know,
Denny Carter's the running bit about how different positions tweet, and tight ends. Literally, it's like the Travis Kelce tweets this week about like, oh, squirrels, derp, and it's like, and receivers are like the enemy. You smiles and
carries a knife.
You know, Stephon Diggs is number 1 in targets this year amongst all wide receivers in the NFL. He has the most targets, and he's bitching.
It's wild, but like I think
you don't have an on-off button with Diva. All right,
that's
Craig?
the thing.
You can't just turn off that. You can't just turn off the Diva. It's a part of you.
What is he mad at? Is he mad that they're 5-5?
Dude, it's like Michael
what
Jordan
is the problem?
making up the fact some guy was talking shit to him or whatever.
Dude, the waiter in Utah. It's my favorite Jordan story. The waiter in Utah who was like,
"Hey man, things to be mad about."
Just want to say I'm a huge fan. You're the greatest basketball player of all time. And Michael Jordan's like, fuck that
guy. You. I'm gonna fucking show you,
like,
man.
That's the way, man. But no, so
it was John Lucas, right? Wasn't that the thing with MJ or somebody?
It's crazy.
Said something like positive to him, and he was
he was called the greatest player of all time, is what he was told.
And he was like, keep my name out your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but the Ryan O'Hanlon, who listens to the show and used to be a Ringer editor and covers soccer and analytics, he's really smart, basically predicted, and I think he's going to be right, though, that all the Bills' underlying numbers are actually really good, and they got probably unlucky with a couple dumb Allen turnovers, which Stephen Ruiz equated to like when superheroes like save a city from a villain. It's like you blow up some cars and break some buildings, but like the turnovers will change, but also like it's bad luck. It's like the football was slick. Like the Broncos couldn't snap the ball. Like James Cook was like the ball fell out of Allen's hand. Like Gabe Davis dropped it. Like they're just going to like the turnover luck will probably change and that will just look like the new coordinator's better. But in reality, it's just like a regression that was probably going to happen anyway.
It's so funny. It's the narrative changes. Like a history is written by the winners or whatever. Like the narrative completely changes depending on who wins the game, right?
But they better win the game because the next 3 games for the Bills are Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys. So I don't think they're going to make the freaking playoffs if they don't win this game.
That's probably correct, but I think it's just so funny that like in week 4, the Bills beat the Dolphins 48-20 right after the Dolphins put up 70. And the Bills were arguably like in the best position they've been in the last like 3 years. They were 3-1. They just kicked the shit out of Tua. And it was like, wow, Bills top in the AFC. And now it's like firing offensive coordinators.
Now we're at the point we were doing our rankings this week. And again, fantasyfootball.thereer.com. And I was looking at James Cook and I'm looking at, what the numbers say. And a real thing that happened to me, and I'm excited to discuss it, was we were like looking at the rankings, and I'm like, all right, here's like how the numbers say we should have James Cook. And then I'm like, yeah, but like if he fumbles, they're not going to put him back in the game, right? Like the whole, like he fumbled on the first the Bills took the opening kickoff, and Mike Tirico, Joe Buck was like, they want the ball, they're going to score. Like that was their attitude. Like they had told the announcers they were going to get it. First touch, James Cook fumbles, and they don't give him the ball again for like 20 minutes in game. And I'm like, we're back to this like we bench the running backs when they fumble thing.
Mm-hmm. I hate that. I think that's all. I think that's bad coaching. I think it's mental warfare. I don't think it helps anybody. And you know what's funny too?
Such a millennial.
One of the final plays of the game, James Cook had he broke off like a really crucial 40-yard run, and he fumbled. But the ball bounced right back into his hands.
Craziest, fumble ever. And then they're like, well,
that's
fine.
Like, if grabbed it full speed running.
If that ball bounced in the opposite direction, he's probably not starting this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, you know what? It's funny. It's like benching a guy for being stripped, but not benching him for just like, because he gets it bounced back to him. It's kind of like firing your offensive coordinator because you had 12 men on the field on the last play on a field goal block.
Yeah, but who benched him? Didn't the offensive coordinator bench him?
I don't know.
Got a taste of his own medicine there.
Well, sometimes he got told to do. I don't know. It's crazy. Like, it's kind of. I don't know.
I agree.
We're
though
a
with Craig.
results-driven business.
I think that the idea of benching your player because they make a mistake is so dumb. Like then you become so afraid of making a mistake. You don't play free. You don't play loose.
Yes,
100%.
It seems like the right thing to do. It seems like the right thing to do, like setting a culture. But you're right, DK. That in reality, like, no one got to the NFL by fumbling.
It's like those parents who like never let their kid like I don't know watch a movie with a swear word or like do anything, and then the second they go to college, they just like go insane.
Or it's like drinking. Yeah,
it's like you need to cultivate like a healthy relationship with your players where it's like it's okay to make a mistake. Like I value you as a player. I'd rather you be on the field with us, like trying your hardest rather than worrying about fumbling.
We should just run the Bills. Like we could do it.
We could
throw
to
Stephon Diggs.
We got it.
They are throwing to Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
maybe that's the problem, Stephon.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, don't say that.
All right.
It just pisses me off. What is he mad at? One of the best teams in the last 4 years. They're like a top 3 team every year, and they like have almost made the Super Bowl.
What's the funniest team they could trade him to?
Where does he want to go? I guess he could go to the Chiefs, but it's like
the Giants is the funniest team he could trade. The biggest market with Tommy DeVito. You imagine?
They're not going to trade him somewhere with a Hall of Fame quarterback.